So here you are, 1 year into a global crisis, and it's high time you start looking for a job. Maybe your city's begun to reopen, or maybe you're one of the millions of Americans who's in a blood feud with your local unemployment office. No matter what your reasoning is, job hunting in 2021 is going to be worse than ever, but it was already pretty bad to begin with. The first thing you're going to want to do is call up your uncle to ask him if he's hiring for a management position at his tech company, nonprofit, or hedge fund. But if you don't have a rich uncle, you're going to need to hit the job boards. But wait, we skipped a step. First, we have to figure out what kind of job you're searching for. This is arguably the only thing I like about job hunting. I get to think about myself, introspect a little bit. Maybe I'll take one of those personality quizzes which matches my type to a career.
You can call me Joker.
I've got a background in customer service, mostly in restaurants, and I have some administrative experience. My degree, which I've never really used, is in communications, so I could probably do something in that field, even if it's just an entry-level position. Plus, I don't want to go back to bartending at nighttime, so this is a perfect chance for me to get a 9 to 5. Real quick, before we get started, you just need to dust off that old resume. Maybe reformat it, add your most recent experience, and make sure you throw in a few of your best qualities. Where to begin? I could go the classic route and try Craigslist. There's Indeed, Simply Hired, Monster Jobs. Wow, there's like hundreds of these recruitment sites. I guess I'll just scroll for a little while and see if anything jumps out at me. That's kind of weird. They don't seem to list the salary for any of these jobs. But oh well, they're probably pretty good. Plus, you have no experience in this field. What are you expecting, 6 figures? Oof, it wants me to connect my LinkedIn account. I never had one of those because, I'm a bartender. It says right here I can just hit submit resume instead. I'll just do that. Just keep scrolling and hitting submit, right? What's the worst that could happen? You're a bit annoyed because it feels like half the job listings you come across are some elaborate scam. Some of them seem like they're just mining your data every time you hit submit resume. Hopefully this isn't the reason you started getting all those spam risk phone calls. Not to mention all of these ads for gig working. Deliver food, ride sharing, dog walking. Finally, you come across a job that looks really cool. You're qualified for it, and they even listed the salary. Plus, their office is a short commute from your house. This is awesome. It just says here at the bottom, only resumes with a cover letter will be accepted. Okay, sure, this sounds like a really cool job, so you look up some tips online for how to write a cover letter. You want to make sure you get every detail right. It was a successful day of job hunting. You must have submitted your resume to 50 or 100 jobs. This last one is the one you're most excited for, though. Just gotta check the email one last time before you turn off your computer, just in case they respond. Nope, of course not. It's only been like 45 minutes. Of course they haven't replied. You go to bed after searching online for some cool business casual outfits to add to your wardrobe. If you get an interview, you'll definitely need something. Now you just wait, right? Except you wake up in the middle of the night and realize the recruiter might find your Twitter account. So you get your phone, lock your Twitter account, and change the profile picture just in case. It's okay. It's not like Twitter's your only creative or social outlet these days. The next day, you wake up and check your email. You talk to your grandma later that day, and she asks you how your job hunt is going, and you tell her about the cool one you applied to. It's a long shot, you tell her, but she tells you you're gonna get it, and you say, yeah, I hope so. It would be awesome. You get off the phone and check your email again. Now you've entered the waiting phase, where you get to obsess over your potential new life that you might have. You become hopeful and then hopeless at the drop of a hat. How many days before you give up? 5? 10? 30? There's 2 ways things could go from here. You either never hear back, or you do. Let's just say you never hear back. Maybe a couple of weeks after you applied, your grandma calls again. She asks how that one job thing is going, and you have to tell her that you haven't heard back. She sounds disappointed, but it's nothing compared to how you feel about yourself. You never had a chance. That job was way out of your league. You checked back a few times and reread the requirements and realized how foolish you were to think you could do this. Then one day you notice the listing has been removed. Maybe the 9 to 5 life isn't for you anyways. Besides, now you can reactivate your Twitter and not have to worry about anything. Then one day, you open your email and you see that the company has finally responded to you. Turns out, it's just 60 days since you applied and your application expired in the system because every company you apply to that day is emailing you a rejection. Alright, hold up. There's another possibility. There's the timeline where you did hear back from the company. Maybe a week or two pass and you check your email and boom, they want an interview. You prepare for the interview process. You do some research on the company. You have a family member ask you fake interview questions. You think about it night and day. You get your outfit ready. And finally, you arrange that Zoom interview and you pull through. You've now entered what I like to call the diarrhea stage, where every time you check your email to see if they've gotten back to you about the interview, it gives you diarrhea. Maybe this is the end of the road. You did everything you could, you followed up with your interviewer, and 2 weeks later, they let you know they went with someone else. Or maybe they respond and say, hey, the HR person really liked you, and now the boss wants an interview. You prepare for round 2 of the interview, and the second one goes even better. You have like a really great energy with this boss lady, and you think you have it in the bag. She even told you that you're one of the top choices for the position. She lets you know that after the interview, they're gonna send you a link to a couple of assessments. One of them's a typing test, and the other one's like a personality thing. No problem. In fact, it's the same personality test you took at the beginning. You breeze through it, trying to be as honest as possible, and hit submit. Another week goes by and you follow up, thanking them for the interview. Then you get an email from the HR person, and she lets you know that you failed the personality test. How can that be ethical? If they liked me and I'm qualified and I had good references, why isn't that enough? Who cares about some silly test? But wait, another place responds and they want an interview. You go through the whole process again and finally, you get the call. They want to hire you. You start in 2 weeks and you're so excited. You get to go shopping, buy some cool new work clothes, you tell all your family and friends, and most importantly, the job hunt is over. Now a new chapter can begin. A chapter where someone else can exploit your labor all day, every day.
Forever and ever, until the end of time.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. The job searching process. Most of my attempts at job hunting have never even gotten past the resume phase, unless it's bartending or serving tables, which I can usually just get by knowing someone in the industry because I've done it for so long. As a little bit of background, I started working when I was 15 years old, like as a hostess, and then I worked at a movie theater. My point is that I have a lot of experience with different types of job hunting because it started out like as a teenager, you just take your resume places in the summer and they just give you like a 3-month job. I was in community college and I had this one serving job pretty much the whole time. Then I became a nanny. Then I like worked all over. I actually did I think I got fired after taking a personality test once. It was like, I was like an intern at this insurance place. And one day they had this person come in and administer tests for everybody. And the next day they fired me without like really any reason at all. They said I was still in my probation period and that they didn't have to give me a reason. So I'm a little bit wary of those personality tests. HBO just put out a documentary about it, but I only watched maybe 30 minutes of it. But it's interesting because I like those personality tests like on a personal level, but I don't think that they should be used in a professional setting at all. So yeah, that's kind of my experience. After that, I ran a couple of my own like little mini businesses. For most of it, I was just serving and bartending. But the thing is, I wanted to do something else, so I went and got a degree. By the time I was done with my degree and everything, I was like having kids and I couldn't work a full-time job and all these other factors. And it's always just been really hard for me to break out of that industry. And now that's like my one industry that I have all my experience in, and it's been completely obliterated because of COVID. So it sucks. Not to mention how awful this process is for people. Like, I'm very privileged, like systemically, but if you're a person with a disability, if you're a person of color, if you're neurodivergent, if you have a criminal record, people are discriminated against, which is another issue with those personality tests, because a lot of times people think they like might pick up on like neurodivergence. And anyways, what I just described is basically like the white collar best case scenario for job hunting, unless you have that uncle who gives you a job. So for a lot of people, the job hunting process is even worse than a lot of this. And I've had a couple get to the interview phase, but I've never once been able to get out of the restaurant industry just using my like resume and job hunting skills. Never been able to do it. And pretty much anyone who doesn't have a degree, 10 plus years of experiences, references, English fluency, and like a million other factors are gonna have an even worse time with this whole process, like way worse. Anyways, the whole thing sucks so fucking much. And this was just a little video to complain about it. I'm sure I missed some stuff, so I would love to hear your least favorite part of this whole process. And let me know if there's any little things I forgot about, because I'm sure that, you know, depending on what like industry you're in, there are different aspects to this that I've never even had to encounter. Either way, I really appreciate you watching, and I hope hearing somebody else complain about this process was funny or cathartic or, you know, whatever. All right, well, thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye.